Hey y'all, it is Kayla and Marcus. We are recently engaged.
Yep, and with that, um, we kind of wanted to share our journey, just kind of let people know who we are, what we got going on, maybe help some people out because, like some of you that may be watching, we don't know anything about planning a wedding, um, and we just gonna share our journey from everything from getting permits, getting documents, whatever we need to do, any hiccups we may come across, we're going to try to share it all. But before we start doing all that, we thought it'd be real nice to just kind of let people know who we are, how we met, and pretty much what led up to our engagement. So that's why we're here. We appreciate you for tuning in. Always, if you want, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, whatever you need to do. So we're going to try to keep it going, and, keep giving you guys content. So you want to start and tell?
Yeah, so how we met. I do not know when I met Marcus. Like, right. I cannot remember when I met Marcus. Like, I can't put a date on it. Like, I can't put a year on it. He's just always been around. We went to high school together. I was a freshman when he was a senior at Riverside University High School in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Like, I do not remember when I met Marcus. He's just always been around. You know how they say when you have something good, it's like right there under your nose. That was Marcus.
Corny.
That was him. So how we met, or how did we start dating?
I don't know if you want to tell the story because it was pretty much all on you for real.
Well, it was all on me. So like I said, Marcus has always been around. So I think it was like 2008. 2008, I wrote him and said happy birthday in his DM on Facebook. First of all, when people write you in your DM to say happy birthday, something that they can say on your timeline, I just think they forcing it. So I was forcing it.
I didn't know.
And he curved me. He said, what did you say? Like, I said, happy birthday, like maybe happy birthday, big kid or something like that. And then he like, thanks, homie. What? You see all of this?
No, that's...
Like, what?
That's
thanks,
a true
homie.
story. I didn't think of her like that for real because of who she was. So I just thought it was all love, So I was just oblivious, stupid, You know how it goes.
Yeah, so years later, I guess I was playing matchmaker.
Yeah.
I always knew that Marcus was a good guy, and I had a coworker who was like, dating around or whatever, and I wanted to hook her up with somebody really nice, really cool guy. So I thought to hook her up with Marcus, and I wrote him on Facebook yet again, and was like, hey, and I didn't know that he didn't live in Milwaukee, but I was like, hey, I want to hook you up on a blind date. Is that cool with you? And then, like, where did it go from there?
I was real hesitant at first because just everything associated with blind dates is never good most of the time. But, whatever, I was feeling real YOLO. I was at that point in time in my life, I was just having fun, I was doing speed dating, all type of crazy stuff. Well, so I'm like, whatever, I'll do a blind date. So I think I told you, I hit you up whenever I planned on coming in town, and we'll kind of go from there. And that turned into like
months.
Yeah, because I wasn't coming to Milwaukee. I wasn't making that commute that much back then. So then what happened?
From there, the girls never fell through, obviously.
Right.
They never panned out. Just like he was hesitant, my coworker was hesitant. I was like, oh, no, I'm really not into the whole blind dating thing. So that was that. And that was, I would say, January of 2015 or January of 2016.
probably 16, I'm thinking.
Okay, so January of 2016, that was that, and it was pretty much over. We kept talking back and forth on Facebook, commenting on stuff,
Right.
laughing at each other's posts, and kind of left it like right there. And then I remember it was Mother's Day.
No, you skipped.
What did I skip?
You skipped.
What happened?
So, the blind date thing was still in the air.
Okay.
And you invited me out. You said, hey, I got somebody who want to go out with you. This was after we had sent text a few times and was going back and forth on social media, and you was like, hey, I got somebody I want you to, give it a try with. And you could meet us, I think it was like a Saturday night, maybe a Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
And this whole time, I'm thinking it was her. This whole time. I'm thinking she talking about herself. So.
What?
Yeah. So I was like geeked, and this was at Elsa's.
Okay.
So I get there, and it's her and another girl, and I'm like, oh, I guess, so I didn't think nothing of it. And, we sat there and we ended up having a good time, actually. All of us had drinks and was people watching the whole night. And I think we ended up doing that till maybe like 1 o'clock in the morning. So left there, and contact kind of dwindled a little bit, because like I said, I thought she was talking about herself, but I kind of left it alone. One of the people that we have in common is my best friend, who's also my barber, and her cousin. Mm-hmm. And I remember telling him about the whole situation, like how I met up with him and her friend was there, and how I was confused but had a good time. And I ended up telling him that I was digging her. So he goes and sends her a message on Facebook. He goes and sends her a message on Facebook after I leave the shop. And she texts me like, somebody told me something. And I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? I'm like, what's going on? Like, I don't think I told nobody about the date. So we text and whatever, and come to find out he went back and told her what I was saying. So, we kind of went from there as far as expressing interest in each other. And then fast forward to our first unofficial date.
Our first unofficial date.
Yeah.
Neither of us knew that it was a date, first of all.
Right.
I just had an extra ticket to a comedy show, and I was like, hey, you want to go with me? And first of all, the comedy show is in Milwaukee. This was on a Sunday night, and he was supposed to be heading home, and he was like, well, what's up? Yeah, I'll come with you or whatever. And for us to not know that it was an official date or an unofficial date, we definitely were holding hands to the comedy show, and he definitely had his arm around me at the comedy show.
Well, that's only because you was like leaning towards me, so I'm like, I don't want to look awkward, so kind of went for the
Mm-hmm.
And she ended up leaning in, and I was like, bet.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was our first unofficial date. I asked and I paid for our first unofficial date.
I drove though, so we used my gas.
What? Got no gas money. All right, so yeah, that was our first date and how we met.
Yeah, pretty much.
So after our first unofficial date, we started to keep in contact a little bit more than we had. Started texting. Every morning I would get, good morning, beautiful. I don't know if that was the text, but we definitely were texting all day. Like I remember being at work and being at my desk and texting all freaking day. And speaking of being at my desk, I remember I got... Sitting at work, I got a IM. I got an IM saying, come to the security office, or the security desk, you have a package. I'm like, a package. Like, from where? Like, what is this? So I go downstairs, and there is a bouquet with a bunch of purple flowers. Purple is my favorite color, and I love flowers, and I was just so happy. And I read the card, and they were actually from Marcus. Said something about Happy Mother's Day. I hope you have a great Happy Mother's Day or something. I just thought that was so sweet and so kind and just genuine. And I did not know that they were coming. I didn't even know that he knew the address to my job.
I actually used to work there. So.
Okay, that's what it was. And he had his old ID, you said. You had your old ID, and you saw the address on your old ID. So, yeah, I thought that was super cool. And I didn't know that till later on that he had the ID and all of that. I didn't know how he figured it out, but he did. And I thought it was super cute. So, like I said, we kept in contact. We're texting, hanging out. I remember going to Juneteenth, and I was jumping double dutch. We went to Juneteenth. Yep. I also went to one of his best friends' graduation with him, hung out with him and some of his other friends. And yeah, like, we kept in contact like every single day. I don't think there was a day that we didn't talk. So fast forward a few months. And a few months. Marcus asked me to be his girlfriend. I would like to say, or no, that was a month. So from Mother's Day.
It probably.
No, it was in that same month. You asked me in May.
Was it?
Yeah. So I actually came and visit. I actually came up to Madison and stayed the weekend with Marcus, and it must have been a really good weekend. It must have been a really good weekend, because from that weekend, Marcus was like, hey, I'm really feeling you, and I just think that you need to be my girlfriend. I was dealing with a whole lot of stuff, so I was like, nah, not right now. Like, we got to pump the brakes on this. Like, not right now. Fast forward to July. I came and visited him. We must have had a really good weekend. No, I came to visit him in July, and then I asked him to be my boyfriend. And we seriously dated for about a year. Seriously dated for about a year? Or was it a few months? For almost a year. We seriously dated for almost a year, and I made the decision to move to Madison with Marcus. Me and James moved to Madison with Marcus in June.
Yeah.
Yeah, we moved to Madison that next June.
Yeah. So, yeah, once Kayla and James moved up, I took things serious, but once they moved up, I knew I had to step stuff up myself, step my game up. And it was hard initially, you know what I mean, to go from essentially just being by myself up here all the time to having not just another adult, but another child too, and having to learn how to deal with two other people and whatever emotions they may have. And it was a little rough. I would probably say like the first maybe 4 or 5 months just getting acclimated to everything, but we got it together during the school year, and it was pretty neat. So probably it was coming up on a year that they were living here, and I remember having a talk with my friend Kent, and he was just saying, don't play house too long. Y'all both adults, and y'all beyond that point where y'all just doing stuff to be doing stuff, and you need to plan on having a future, or figuring out what you're gonna do, and stop wasting time. And I agree with that. And most people, especially older people, wouldn't agree with the route that we took to do everything, such as them moving in right away. But I thought it was just right.
It was the best thing.
Beat it. We were together for a year. Moved in after a year, so they were living with me for a whole year. And then, fast forward, I went through all that planning, saved up money, did what I needed to do, worked a whole bunch, and saved up money to get an engagement ring. So I did all of this, and we, like every relationship, we go through our rough times, and we went through ours, and that was the motivation to kind of just keep going, because I knew that was my end goal. From the time that she moved up here, and I seen the way she was with me, the way she was raising her son, that was what I wanted. I knew then that was what I wanted. So once I got that situated, I went to a jewelry store here in town. Once I got all my ducks in a row and everything, we ended up going to the mall. I want to say, I don't know. I was real busy at work, and I came home one day, and we were all done. I'm pretty sure that was what was that?
I feel like it was during the week.
No, I want to say that was that was either a
Like
Thursday,
Okay.
either a Thursday or Friday. I came home. I guarantee it was probably a Friday, because we just finished up. We had a ridiculous week at work, and we had just finished up, and I remember coming home tired, and she seen that I was tired, and I told her how tired I was, and she said, "You want to go to the mall?" And I'm like, "Are you gonna drive?" And she looked at me and was like, "No." so
I hate driving, y'all. I hate driving. Like,
So we ended up going to the mall. I drove, of course, and we're in the mall, and I'm just like, you know what?
I'm gonna go to the shoe store.
Well, in my head, I'm like, fuck it, I'm finna go get this ring while we here.
I'm like, shoe
Because
store?
our anniversary is next week, so I'm like, I need to hurry up and get this. So she's getting some, I think she's getting some, she wanted these sandals all summer, and she finally found them. So she was getting these sandals, and I'm like, you know what? I'm finna go to the shoe store and look for some shoes for James.
The shoe store.
So I didn't
that?
I didn't realize how generic I was being. I'm just like, I'm finna run to the shoe store. I don't know which one, but I'm finna go to one. So I go to the jewelry store in the mall. I went to K's, and I had been dealing with them for like 2 months before that. So they knew who I was and everything. And I came in, and the dude was like, "Is today the day?" And I'm like, "Yep." Showed him the ring I wanted on my phone. He made sure he could get it right away. We went through, we're doing all the paperwork and everything, and I'm telling them, like, all right, she in the mall. So y'all been in the mall before. Y'all know how jewelry stores, you pretty much could see all around you in the jewelry store. So I'm like, she in the mall. I don't want her to see me in here. She gonna know what's up. These people at K was so amazing. They put me in the back and hid me in this damn jewelry store while we was getting everything together for this ring. And I see this girl walking by, walking in stores, and I'm like, oh my God, she gonna find me, she gonna see me, and she didn't. So.
But you thought I did.
Right, I just knew she's seen me, because when I walk out the jewelry store, I'm walking around looking for her, and she comes out the store, and she looking at me, and she cheesing, and I'm like, damn, she seen me. Come to find out, she didn't even know what I was doing. I don't know what she thought I was doing.
No, I was smiling because you called me and said, "Where you at, Lil Kayla?"
Oh, yeah.
And that's what he would say, like, when we first started dating.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what? Why are you doing this? Like, why you calling me that?
And she hated that, by the way.
Right.
When we first started talking.
But it was just so cute that it just reappeared.
Right.
That's why I was smiling.
So, fast forward, our anniversary was on the 24th of July. I think that was like a Tuesday or something like
It was
that.
like during the week sometime.
Yeah, it was on the Tuesday, and I I ended up I ended up switching my weekends to work on call, and came home, you know, after dealing with K's, that I went and picked up the ring.
That was a quick turnaround.
It was. I got my ring back. I got my ring back within like 5 days, which was pretty dope. They sized it and everything. So I went and picked the ring up. I want to say, I think I went and picked that ring up Wednesday. And like a kid with some money, that ring was burning a hole in my pocket. And I wanted to wait till our anniversary because, yeah, I switched weekends because
So we can go to Chicago.
we were supposed to go to Chicago, and we were going to go to, I think it's called the 95th floor or something like that in Chicago. It was our first official date, and I wanted to be cool and propose there at our first date. But her being who she is, we had tickets to go to the Jay-Z and Beyonce concert
The following weekend.
like three weeks later. And she's like, well, I don't want to go to Chicago, come back and turn around and go back again. So we could wait till that weekend. And I'm like, damn. So I had to think of something. So that Friday, I'm in the house. I'm cleaning up, washing dishes. And I'm sitting here, gears going. And I remember she talked about how she always wanted to just go visit Toronto. I looked it up. Toronto was like a 10-hour drive from where we are here in Madison. So I was like, fuck it, let me see how serious she is. So she came in, and I'm washing dishes. She had a little attitude on her face. And I'm like, what's wrong? And she's like, I don't want to be in the house this weekend. And I'm like, well, go get the passports. And she look at me, and she like, for what? I'm like, dude, go get the passports. She like, where we going? I'm like, we finna go to Toronto. And she put the biggest smile on her face. And she's like, really? And I'm like,
like a kid.
right. And I'm like, yep, we finna go. So I ain't never seen this woman move so fast in my whole life. She run in the room. She packing clothes. She grabbing passports. Just getting to it. Whole time she forgetting we got a dog or everything. So, you know, fast forward, we get everything situated. Drive to Canada. Get through everything. Get situated in our hotel. She, you know, getting dressed. We had plans to go see the CN Tower. We hit up Drake Restaurant, Pick 6. We had plans to do that and just sightsee. We wanted to. We literally left Friday night, got there early Saturday morning, and turned around to leave.
Sunday.
Wanted to turn around and leave Sunday morning. So it was a quick getaway trip. This whole time, I'm like, man, she gotta know. But whatever. So get to Toronto, and I'm trying to think of places where I could propose, and you know, I had like 4 different places. What's the name of the island we ended up going to?
I do not know. I don't.
Oh my God. And I should remember. So I did research before we got to Toronto of some good places to, you know, sightsee for tourists, and one of the places was Center Island. At Center Island, it's a nice place, but right on the shore of the island, you can get a nice like panoramic view of the whole Toronto skyline, and it's just dope. So on the way there, that was one of my places to propose, either there or in front of the Toronto sign, which is like by a mall or something downtown. And so while we're driving up, I'm just trying to think of different ways to propose. I know she always wanted it to just be me and her. She never wanted it to be a spectacle with family or nothing like that. So I was like, what can I do to give her something that she could remember? So my first plan was to go to the Toronto sign and, have somebody start recording us or something, and I act like I'm tying my shoes and tap her and turn around and here go a ring. So, thinking about it now, that's kind of weak and garbage. So I'm glad I didn't do it. But I mean, to each his own. But I wouldn't have liked that afterwards. But we ended up going to Center Island. You got to take a ferry to get to the island. So the whole time we waiting online to get to the island, I got the ring in my pocket, and this girl keeps bumping into me and like trying to like lean on me, and I got this big ring case in my damn pocket. And it was one point where we were actually walking on the ferry and she bumped into me, and I just knew she felt it. And I'm irritated. And she like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I'm like, nothing. So we get to the island. It was like a 5-minute ride on the ferry. Get to the island, get out, and we go get like a beer and drinks, and we just walking around. And it was one spot right on the shore where it was like a bunch of rocks, and there weren't a lot of people there. And periodically, groups of people would kind of sneak down because it was in back of the restaurant, and you kind of had to sneak to get there. And people would be down there taking pictures. So they left, and I'm like, come on, let's go down there. So I'm pulling her down, and she tripping like, why'd you rushing? What's wrong? And we get there, and she loved taking selfies and doing all that. So I'm taking pictures of her. I got her in full model mode. She taking all her pictures. She just going, So after we do that, I have her face the skyline, and I'm like, oh, it'll be nice if you just extend your arms out like hugging the whole city. And while she doing that, I'm hyping her up like, put your arms out more. And while I'm saying that, I'm trying to get the ring out of my damn pants pocket, and I can't get it. And I'm trying to hold the camera too, because I'm recording. So I get the ring out, and I creep up behind her, and then I have her, turn around, and she turned around, and I'm down on one knee, and I asked her if she would marry me. And she thought I was playing. She thought it was a joke.
Because he plays so much. Shoot.
She thought it was a joke, and after we started crying and whatnot, she said, yeah, and then that was it.
That was it.
That was it, so... yeah.
It was amazing. It was so beautiful. It was so thoughtful. It was exactly what I wanted. It was just us, and that's what I requested. It was by the water, and I love water. Girl can't swim for nothing, but I love water. I love a good view. It was amazing. View of Toronto. It was amazing. Surprise trip after a long, hard week of work. I had a really bad week that week.
Yeah.
So that just made my month. That made my year. It was amazing.
Yeah, so that was the proposal.